going on, y'all? My name is Timothy Cato III, and this is yet another episode of I Got More to Say. And I am joined by a player partner friend of mine, a man who gets no sleep and a man who needs no introduction. Well, I'm gonna let him do his own introduction. Zak G. Zak G, what's happening, my guy?
Cato, thanks for having me. King Cato in the building.
Oh, man,
rocking the Oswego State.
You know I had to come through for our alma mater.
Come
and for
on.
those of you who don't know, yes, me and Zak G both went to Oswego State University. I think it's now known as Oswego University. I had to rep our colors. As y'all may or may not know, I am an Indianapolis Colts fan, so he had to come through with the Titans jersey.
Tighten up, baby.
Hey, man, I ain't even mad at it, you know? So, you know, I had to rep our school. He repped his squad. So, you know, but that's what's up. But nah, Zak G, thank you for being here. Zak G, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and extend the platform to you a little bit, man. Sure. Tell the world a little bit about yourself because you're a man of many things.
I appreciate that. My name's Zak G. I've built my brand. I'm an artist first.
For sure.
And I built that brand off of self-sufficiency. So I got in my computer. I invested, you know, a lot of my savings into a good laptop early on. I wanted to learn how to produce. I wanted to learn how to engineer. So I kind of wanted to become the self-sufficient type of guy. But I'm also an extrovert and a networker. So I wasn't just this guy in the studio here. So I wanted to build my brand as an artist, producer, an engineer, networker, just been at it, you know, kissing hands, shaking baby, or kissing baby, shaking hands.
Yeah.
Wow. Pause. And but it's all about, you know, just kind of putting all those pieces together, wearing all the different hats in this entrepreneurial lifestyle. So, you know, Zak G being the focus, that's one part of me, and then the other side is the Bridge Upstate, where me, my friend Angel over here, we founded this thing that we're trying to connect artists, producers all around Upstate New York, bring them together in events and online competitions, and just finding ways to network and bring the scene together like you've never seen before. We have the internet. It's 2024. Like, why aren't we utilizing this tool, you know, in the ways and there's other, you know, cities that do it and do it well. So like, if we do it well, now we can bridge the world to Upstate and make them look at the hip hop scene and be like, oh wow, some stuff's happening up here. There's this kid that's going hard, and look at all the people under, and like not even under. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to say it like that, but it's like, how do we champion? How do we champion everybody, man? And that's really what I've been about. So yeah, that's a little introduction into what I'm doing.
Nah, we got you, Zak G, man. You definitely showing that Oswego education. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
With the, you know, with your ability to, you know, speak and, you know, broadcast. So shout out to you.
Appreciate that.
I'ma also chime in a little bit right now. As I said before, this is a man who gets no sleep whatsoever. He mentioned the Bridge Upstate, which we will get to, but Zak G does so much for so many different artists here upstate. And you know, I mean, the Bridge Upstate, as I mentioned before, Zak G worked with everybody who got from gray hair to no hair, such as myself. Like, Zak is out here on top of his grind. You know what I'm saying? We definitely salute you. And, you know, as I said before, I'm so happy to extend my platform to you.
Before you ask that, can I say something real quick?
Go
I
ahead.
try to get my full 8 hours.
For real?
Sleep is important
Okay.
for everybody watching. Make sure you get at least some sleep. If you get no sleep, you'll actually be less productive.
For sure.
All right, just
Nah, I got you. I appreciate
Health,
that, Zak.
baby.
They need to hear that from
That's
you
it.
because between doing albums, doing shows, being all up and through upstate, working, whatever else, you know, all the things that you do, being a great son, being a great friend, whatever, you always, I was like, there's not enough time in the day for this guy.
That's
like,
it.
He's always
you
going.
know what I mean? And then the time I'm not doing something, sometimes I'm just wired, man. I'm on social media, and then I'm like, it's 2 a.m. I need to get some sleep because I have a lot I want to do on my list tomorrow.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, Zak G, real quick, just because, you know, I definitely want to get into your story. This is the first time you've been on I Got More to Say. Zak, what is it? Tell us about what it was like growing up. Like, tell us a little bit about, like, your background.
Yeah, man.
Growing up in Syracuse, 315.
In the 315, grew up, man. Family, 2 younger sisters.
So you're the oldest?
I'm the oldest. We're like very tight family, honestly, growing up. Middle Eastern culture. That's why I'm wearing the keffiyeh today. Went to church every Sunday, was an altar boy, you know. I think that identity early on, in an all-white school, 70 kids, and not all white. We had I'm the token Arab. We have a token black guy. We have a token Hispanic. We have a token Asian. That's the 4 cultured people in the whole school. Everybody else is country. And I think through hip hop, I found a lot of identity in it. I found myself through hip hop because, you know, the world treated me different in different ways. And I don't even want to say different is bad. I just think it was like I felt a different understanding and perspective of the world. And I think hip hop had some of those things for me, tools to really hone in on those things, I guess. So, that's really the upbringing of me and how I kind of came into hip hop and the background of who I am.
Nah, for sure. You know, it's actually interesting to hear you say that because so many people always said that hip hop helped them find an identity when they feel like they didn't necessarily fit in, you know, with their. I always say before, like, I feel like when people are brought into the world, regardless of whatever it is, based upon race, whatever, wherever they live, there's always like a certain thing you have to be. And, you know, it's interesting to hear you say that hip hop allowed that, that hip hop allowed you to find your identity.
Yeah. I always say, I was an outcast, so I listened to Outkast.
That's fire. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I like
Andre,
that.
3 Stacks, best lyricist of all time, in my humble opinion.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Why is he the best?
Because he can rap about a flower and make it hard. He's got rhyme schemes and deliveries where he can, like, I don't know, you never know how he's gonna, like, come on a track for real. I mean, I miss it because now he's, you know, doing his flute albums and stuff, which I actually kind of enjoyed.
I'm not gonna lie, I cleaned my whole house to his flute album.
I love that. I love that, but I just think, and Big Boy shouldn't be slept on either, but.
Show it. I mean, I personally think Big Boy's better, but.
Oh!
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Can I get into it?
Yeah, of course.
Reason being is this. Number 1, 3 Stacks is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I agree. One of the nicest ever when it comes to the lyrics. He has, I mean, my favorite hip hop song / verse he has, Get Up, Get Out. You know, I could rap that word for word, or at least I think I can, but I'm not going to attempt to do it now. Reason why I say Big Boy is because, no disrespect to 3 Stacks, 3 Stacks does not have an official solo album.
I had a feeling this is where we were going.
And I'm not discrediting him whatsoever because if you could rhyme, you could rhyme. And I mean, he's been a part of Grammy Awards and, you know, Diamond albums, so I'm not taking nothing away from him. But we've seen Big Boy be successful with Andre and away from Andre with albums like Sir Lucius Left Foot, The Son of Chico Dusty, Dangerous Lies, Vicious Rumors, and even Boom Verse. We've seen Big Boy reinvent himself, and we've continuously seen Big Boy display rapping at a very high level. So no disrespect to 3 Stacks. I think that I like them both. I love them both together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, when we talk about, when people always say which one, I always say this too. You never ever listened to Outkast, and when Big Boy came on, you never said, hey, turn that Big Boy off. You never said that.
Yeah.
And there were, I feel like, a lot of songs where Big Boy got the upper hand, you know, where he actually had the better verse. So, like I said, I don't like pitting them two against one another because they're brothers, but love 3 Stacks, one of the nicest ever. But if we talking about overall who I would take and overall whose legacy and whose resume to me is more impressive, I gotta go Antoine Patton, personally.
Wow, man.
But excuse me, I'm sorry. We're getting back to what you were saying.
Sure.
You said that 3 Stacks is one of your favorites.
Yes, sir.
And then you said that it helped you find your identity. How was it navigating finding an identity? Because you're in Central New York, you're in a very white area.
Yes, sir.
But then you come, is it Iranian or?
No, I'm Lebanese.
Lebanese, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Lebanese and Palestinian, actually.
Lebanese and Palestinian. So now you come from, what is that part of the world called?
The Middle East.
The Middle East, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So you're Middle Eastern.
Yep.
You're in this, like I said, a predominantly white area, and you're in an area that isn't necessarily you know, renowned for its hip hop chops.
Nope.
So what was like your first hip hop moment that it was like, you know what, I like this can help me kind of figure myself out, and this is what, you know, you eventually turned into, you know, a career?
I think at first it was just fun. At first it wasn't like, oh my God, let me help figure myself out. It was more along the lines of like, I have my CD player. We have Now 14 on CD, and I'm listening to Right There by Chingy, or Ludacris I'm bumping, or Eminem, the Eminem Show, 50 Cent, The Massacre comes out, and I'm just like, man, this is like the way they're delving into their stories and things like that. This is just deeper than any other genre I had heard. Like I just loved the fact that it was just real and raw, and it's just like, nah, this is the thing for me. And then now I'm delving into the mixtape Wayne at that era, you know, the TIs, and I just kind of like fell in love with it, and I think I have just some kind of musical, like I have perfect pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know any music theory in that sense.
Okay.
Like I'm learning slowly of like how to articulate like in terminology certain things, but when it comes to like I hear a note, like I kind of know what notes harmonize with that on a track. Like I don't have to be like, okay, so the A and the B, I can't think like that, right? So like that mixed with me listening to these other guys, I'm like shooting hoops in this little, I have this little plastic hoop in my basement, right? I'm like, at this point, 10 years old, like I'm, like my first favorite song is probably "Get Back" by Ludacris.
That's a great one.
You know, get back.
Yeah, but
y'all don't know me like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
he's
that's
got.
a great one.
I watched the music video, and he's just got these big arms,
big
you know,
forearms.
and it's iconic.
For sure.
You know, and so I think this era of hip hop molded me. It's just iconic, big personality, and here I am, the class clown, the loudmouth, in my family and at school, and. Here I am, just this guy with a different culture, different background. Everything about me was just like
Different.
It just felt unique. It felt like there's something here. What's something that allows me to be the most me? It was hip hop, man. So early on, I'm listening to that. I'm listening to CD players. On the radio, I had like a little cassette tape in the radio, and I'm like recording songs. I don't want to date myself too much, but I'm like literally recording songs off the radio. You could do that with my cassette tape. Got Caught Up, Usher on that, so I got a little bit of the R&B as well. And yeah, man, that's kind of just the discovery of and learning myself through this other music at the same time.
No, that's what's up. So around this age was about like 10 years old?
Yeah, I would say like 10 years old, and I want to say middle school, so probably around like 13 is when I start like, okay, now I got the notepad. Now I'm like writing in it a little bit on the school bus, and that was like very light. But then I think once we get to high school, me and my best friend start getting in my basement and like we start recording a little bit. That's around like 2011, 2012 time. Now I'm in high school, so. Now I have dated myself, so there we go.
Oh, okay.
If you do the math.
Nah, I got you. So, it's interesting to hear you say that because I've said this before on previous episodes. I got more to say that I feel when it comes to music, those of us who really want to go into a career within music, regardless of medium, regardless if it's business side, regardless if it's artistry, regardless if it's performing, whatever it is, I feel like generally majority of us who really get into it, really love it, we love it at in the middle school age, you know, and I don't know, I'll speak for myself. I remember like when I would go to school around 10, 11, 12 years old, and I would break down albums and artists and what made them great and everything like that. People would just kind of look at me and they'd be like, Cato, you know too much about this. Like we just know the surface level things and we just like the song, but you telling us about who produced it and this, that, and the third. I always do my best to try to be as well researched as possible. So,
I can feel it.
Yeah, appreciate you, my
I
guy.
love that.
Thank you. So that's why I sit back and I think to myself and I just be like, yo, like I said, it's just a theory of mine, but even speaking with you proved the theory, 10, 11, 12 years old, I feel like for those of us who love it the way we do, we discover it at about that age.
Yeah. I mean, well, in the middle school...
We're peak imagination.
Exactly. It's the middle ground of, like, you figuring who you are out as, like, a kid, and you're like, okay, middle school, you're halfway through high school. There's, like, it's a very pivotal moment in your life where you're just making certain decisions, and I feel like music at that time... Once it hits you, it sticks with you forever, and those artists stick with you forever.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And it's crazy when you think about it, like, and it's all the more responsibility that I have making music because I know if I'm hitting someone at that age, you know what I mean? Like, what's the messaging? Yeah. And that's why I love the Kendricks, the Mr. Morales and shit like that. It's like you see the progression of a man that's trying to overcome his faults and being open and honest. And it's just, I love that kind of person. And that's why I do, like we were speaking on before, take from a Kendrick.
For sure.
And take from all different types of influences. I can tell you, like, and I did tell you, like, right, Ludacris, Eminem, 50 Cent, all that stuff. Once I hit Childish Gambino in high school, it all changed for me. Yeah. Because here's a guy that just like didn't fit any mold at all. I felt a lot like him in that sense. I was like, holy crap! Like he's he's an alien like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? You know, an AT alien.
Yeah,
to
there you go.
be.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because he's also ATL.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
and
what I mean? Like 3 Stacks.
And that, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that era, you know, you mentioned that era was so dope around that 2012, 2014 era because so many of the hip hop weirdos were really, I feel like really kind of like the people who didn't fit the mold, the traditional mold, really came out. You know, as you mentioned, you said the Childish Gambinos, the Tylers, the Odd Futures, the Hobsons. I remember that era.
Hobsons.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
The Eminem clone Hobsons.
Yeah, you see.
Not a big fan of Hobson, but that's all right. Didn't like him.
He can rhyme.
He can definitely rhyme. He had a couple. He had a couple of good ones, but I mean, all in all, it's like he's just like trying to be. He's like angry so much.
So much. Like, he lost me like 5-6 years ago with the video and like
Illmind to Hobson 5 though.
For sure. And 4 too.
And 4
is dope.
I don't know if did I listen.
4
maybe
is
it was
the one he was wearing all white.
Maybe it was that one that I liked.
For sure, yeah. Hobson is, like I said, he can rhyme. I give him his credit. But
anyways,
yeah,
go
but I got you. But so that age, as we said before, is just such a beautiful age. But something I wanted to ask you before we get into
sure, we can go forever.
Yeah, something I wanted to ask you is this. I noticed that, like I said, you're from upstate New York, from central New York. But I noticed that a lot of the artists that you mentioned before when you got into hip hop were from the South. Mm-hmm. Can you unpack that? Because at
That's
the
a
age,
good question, yeah.
Yeah, because at the age that you were at, as you said before, New York, I mean, 50 Cent and G
like
was
50,
running things, and Cameron and Dipset were out. Like, you know, this is, well, technically they say that we're in their backyard, but you know, they're a few hours away from us, and and I say us because for those of you who don't know, I pretty much was raised upstate. Like, why the South? Why not the North that pretty much had it at that time?
You know why? I think the South was more creative. I think they just had more. They had more characters. I feel like New York rappers had a certain like, I'm New York, I'm hard.
Yep.
And so everybody out of New York was hard. When you go to the South, you got all this. You know, you got Andre 3 Stacks wearing whatever wardrobe he's wearing.
Crazy stuff.
And you got Ludacris with the big arms, and you got T.I. that's just got this Southern draw, like, but he's cool, and he's got a little more of like, I don't know, man. I just think there was so much going on out there, and just so many characters, bro. Like,
yeah, the South was different.
The South was different,
and they sounded different.
They sounded different. It was just, I think, they really influenced, like, the real music heads, I think, of like, they fed the ones who, like, really loved music and hip-hop, I think. Not to say I don't love 50 Cent and the Biggies and the, you know, the hard, I like that hardness of New York City. I think I take from some of that, you know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's because I'm just not the hard guy. You know what I mean? And not to say these other rappers weren't like hard, but I feel like there was just more creativity being happened. Yeah. So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think the reason why, outside of me just being born in Atlanta and, you know, just kind of I guess musically, I want to know about Atlanta first before I really got to other places. Yeah. I think it was a few things that kind of made me really, I love all hip hop, you know, and you know, like I said, my favorite rappers from New York, being Notorious B.I.G. You know, him and Project Pat are my two favorite, but
there you go.
That's besides the point. Okay. But like, it would just be, I said New York was really serious, you know, like when I was a kid. And I'm just like, you know, 50 Cent at one point was one of the guys that I listened to a lot. And I'm like, the reason why I gravitated towards him more than a lot of other rappers was because I'm like, yo, like, he has like a little bit more fun. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't sound so angry as like some of the other New York rappers.
It was just swaggy.
Yeah, and then like I said, I go down south, and then, you know, I listen to like a lot of Houston hip hop. So I'm listening to, you know, like the Paul Walls and the Lil Kikis and, you know, I mean, of course. UGK, you know what I'm saying, at that time. And, you know, things is, you know,
Paul Walls,
their music videos, they got, you know what I'm saying, these candy painted cars with swangers on them, and they just rhyming about, you know, just how good life is in Texas and things of that nature, you know, the Zeros and people like that. So I'm just like,
man.
Yeah, like, cause I just would sit back and think to myself, like, yo, like, this is a little bit more mellow.
Yo, Zero had a song called Vince Young, by the way.
Really? Yeah, he's from Texas. Yeah, you know, Texas, you know, they rep theirs.
Call
me
Vince Young, homie. I got quarterback vision.
Oh, I like that. Okay, all right.
I love that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, that was one of my favorite songs. I mean, I think he used it to then rap about cocaine. I learned later on. But I mean,
at the time, that was, yo, this is hard.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I think another thing too, why I gravitated towards the South and the West, especially, is as I kind of got older and like my taste matured, is because a little bit more musical.
Yeah.
Like I listen to New York, and not to say New York people from New York aren't musical. New Yorkers, please don't come for me in the comments, because y'all love to come for me in the comments. But it's like it was like a little bit more chords.
Yeah.
And then where New York was, things I felt like was a little bit. I don't want to say breakbeat because New York, like they sample and they do their thing, but I just would always feel like it was a little bit more musical in the South and in the West.
Yeah.
But moving on. So Zak G, you said 11, 12 years old, high school,
yes,
or
sir.
2012, 2013, however old you were at that time, is when you start writing.
Yep.
So what made you go like, okay, because there's certain people like myself who love hip hop damn near as much as everybody, or as much as anybody, but never ever took time to actually pick up a pen and really, take it serious and really write. So what was like, okay, I love this, but what clicked off in your head like, hey, I want to do this? Like I want to be a rapper. I want to be an artist.
At that point, it didn't happen.
Really?
It actually happened in Oswego.
Really?
Yeah. So early on, it was like it's a hobby. It's so much fun. I went to OCC actually before Oswego for 2 years, and then I transferred to Oswego. So I actually did community college for a couple.
Shout out to you.
Did a mixtape in 2015, and
the
that
name of
was
that?
when I was like, oh wait, I kind of love this, and I remember putting it out on SoundCloud and being like, why didn't this go viral? Like I thought in my mind then, I was like, this is the best project that's ever been made. Like I'm in my egotistical like.
The SoundCloud was popping at that time.
The SoundCloud was popping. I'm looking back. I'm like, the world just isn't ready for Zak G yet.
There you go.
But it's funny because you look back, you listen to that, and you're like, wow, I was not. There's things in there, right? There's certain like, I kind of have
pockets.
I have some rhyme scheme. I have, but like some of the stuff I'm saying, like, oh man, that's nerdy. Oh, that nasal. You can't rap like this. Like, you gotta say it with your chest. So it's just funny looking back at that time. It's still at that point, 2015, a little of a hobby. Get to 2017. Now I'm at Oswego. I'm around graduation. Actually, 1 year prior, I lost my grandfather. 2016. It's okay. Hey. He's there. He's here with me. You know what I'm saying? And that
speak very highly of him.
Yeah, and that mixed with also at Oswego having this identity crisis. I don't know if I want to do broadcasting anymore. I want to get my degree. I need to have a degree. I'm going to finish this out.
For sure.
But I have to be honest with myself. Life isn't promised forever. Losing my grandfather, life isn't promised forever. I'm having these identity issues. I'm like, I don't even know where I want to go. Like we said before, we were talking about Oswego, party, school, fun, and all that. It was fun. Yeah. But there's also this time of like a huge reckoning in my head, which I love it happened at this point in my life because it's like I still have so much time to. So I said, well, here's my plan. I'm gonna finish out this degree. I'm gonna make another mixtape when I'm at Oswego. And once I graduate, I'm going to work in radio for a couple years, which I did. Okay. But I'm going to try to start making connections and start working hard. And I think that's when I really started having the realization, I want to be a rapper, a singer, produce. Like I just love the music industry. I want to do that.
For sure.
Yeah, man. And then, drop that mixtape in 2017. And the rest is history. I graduate.
What was the name of that tape?
That was called Sound Asleep.
Sound Asleep?
I had the All Nighter, my first mixtape. Then the second was Sound Asleep.
Okay.
And then the third album that I dropped on streaming platforms when I first started my streaming in 2018 was Lucid Dreamz.
Ooh, that's dope. Okay, go through that again. So hold on.
So I have, I actually have All Nighter.
Yeah.
Then I have Sound Asleep.
And then
I have Lucid Dreamz. And then after that is The Awakening Theory. So it's kind of like a 4. Yeah.
That's dope.
And after The Awakening.
That's dope. I like how you did that. Yeah.
And each one, so I haven't actually said this, I don't think, out. But the All Nighter was a mixtape. I'm rapping on everybody else's beats, kind of like just a straight up verses mixtape. Like there's no hooks, there's no anything. It's just straight up. Let me figure out verses.
Nah, that's a true mixtape.
That's a true mixtape.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to get into this. Artist, if you are going and finding your own beats and rapping over them, that is a project or like an EP or an LP, whatever it is. A mixtape is your lyrics over other people's beats. Ooh. I'm tired of this mixtape thing. Mixtapes have changed over the years because due to the way
Dat Piff, man.
Yes, the way that they're distributed. But when you think mixtape, you need to think of dedication. You need to think of the drought. You need to think of 50 Cent's mixtapes. What was it? 50 Cent is the Future. Yes. and that's what you need to think of. Please continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I am sick of the mixtape propaganda.
Educate, man.
But please continue.
We got more to say.
For sure. Yes.
No, so the all-nighter, just verses on other people's beats. No song structure, no anything.
Just figuring out verses.
And that's what I love about my process is I just slowly start building. So the first mixtape's that. The second mixtape, let me start making some songs, try to figure out how to do it on other beats I'm just finding on YouTube, also on SoundCloud. Now, the next one I do is a compilation album of the last, 3 years of all these songs I've been working on. Now I'm starting to, really come into my own from Sound Asleep to Lucid Dreamz, and the whole thing of the Sound Asleep idea was, I'm asleep to my potential. And that was kind of the whole thinking of that was, I'm still not there, but I know, I want to be. And Lucid Dreamz was I'm still not fully awake to my potential, but now I can see myself working. And then you get to the awakening theory, and that's where I put it all together. And that's where I start, really... I was producing before that, on a low, but this is where I'm I'm going to put out a project that I'm solely producing. And that was, 2019, 2020 time. So... after that era ends, that's when For the G's comes out. That's my new album, and now we're on to this new age Zak G, working on another album and all that stuff. But it's just interesting seeing the whole progression from boom to boom to boom, and me slowly adding pieces. First it's verses, then it's song structure, then it's let me perfect that, then it's let me produce my own shit. Now it's let me see how many producers and artists I can collaborate with. Now I don't have time to produce my own beats. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
So it's just...
So you started off just figuring producing out. So you said you didn't have any background in music theory or anything like that, but you
just
were
playing, man.
And you were just figuring it out.
Just fun. Just have fun with it, man. I think having the curiosity and just not making it a big thing, and just I'm a kid that just I just want to play with the drum, throw the drums on the machine. It feels like a toy to me, you know? I'm just I'm having fun.
For sure.
And
get your own beats, your own verses, and you did that for four projects / albums. Slash mixtapes.
Yep. But I that's why I perfected the verse early on, and now I can it's just been slowly implemented and never being hard on not never. Sometimes you're hard on yourself, but just being patient, man, and slowly building something. I find, at least for me, when I work slow and methodical, the best stuff comes out of it. And so it's just understanding that, and day to day, building on top of what I already got. That's how I built Zak G from the ground up, and it's probably how I'm gonna build Bridge Upstate. And yeah, man, that's why we're here.
Yeah, for sure, Zach. I mean, they say anything slow be for sure. If it's fast, it won't last.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So so I got a couple lines myself.
Yep.
All them Iceberg Slim books I read.
There you go.
But Zach. So one thing I want to get into, because you touched on this a little bit, but I really want you to explain it. The thing that I love so much about hearing your story is that you always had a plan. You always had a plan, even if you didn't write it down. Or really smart goal it out or anything like that, or a Venn diagram, however people use to organize. You always have a plan.
Yes.
Can you speak to the importance of how important it was to having a plan back then, as far as album releases, as far as collaborations, as far as networking, as far as outreach, and then how important it is now, 7-8 years later? Because that's something I really admire about you. You are always have a plan.
You know what's crazy is I think when I started, it was an unconscious plan. It wasn't okay, let me plot this out and think about it, whatever. It was more I have this thing I need to say. How am I going to say it, and how I want people to perceive it? And it definitely was more loose about that. But then it's understanding the process of in the studio, recording, producing, then mixing and mastering, then album art, promotion, then doing shows with all of those, then interviews, then, okay, we did that, let's repeat, and it's just to repeat the process, but do it better. And so it's just a constant repetition of doing the same thing, but in a different way. In a more educated way, because every time you do something, you should technically get better.
For sure.
And so, what can I do different every single album that's going to make me a better artist? Whether it's singing, it's rapping, it's lyrics, production, it's whatever. How can I challenge myself with this? Because if it's not challenging me, whatever. So, I think the plan really is that. The plan is what is going to make me feel like I'm filling my why. If it feels right in the gut, I'm gonna do it. Because if it doesn't, man, it's not fueling me, and I just don't. That's been my whole life. If I don't care about it, I'm not gonna do it. I don't care. School, I got to a point where I didn't care, and I skated by. I got the graduations. I got the things. Wasn't a 4.0 student by any means. You know, I'm B and C's. Because I don't care. I'm doing it because I have to. You know what I mean? Because mom and dad say so. Because society is like, you need this to be successful. But really deep down, as I'm doing that, skating by, I get the degree in college and all this stuff. I don't want to do that, man. When I apply myself, I apply myself. Yeah. I'm obsessive. But when society's like, you got to do this, I'm like, fuck that.
For sure.
You know, like for real.
Nah, I respect it.
So that's it. The plan is just knowing your why, sticking to it, and just letting that drive you. A lot of it really is just that gut feeling. Letting that be the plan. And I think the methodical things of like all the other little nuances that you're talking about, they kind of fall into place. Yeah.
So just having an understanding of, okay, this is something I want to do, and I'm just gonna go at it.
And also the self-awareness. You know, like the time that I take for myself, I think, is not in this day and age what people are doing. I think I do take the time to think about myself, my position in whatever and what I'm doing. I always try to give myself that time because I understand that allows me to keep my confidence, because when you know who you are, you have a certain confidence about you. You can be more you. Anybody can be a rapper. Anybody can be a singer, a producer, an engineer, everybody. But to take all those pieces, to also know yourself, mean what you say. No one can be me as much as Zak G can be Zak G. No one can be Zak G how Zak G is. No one can be Cato how Cato is. And when you understand that, plan just starts happening, man. You know what I mean? There's just a power in that manifestation energy, I guess.
Knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a long-winded answer, but I hope
that was great. I appreciate that. We like long-winded answers. This is, I got more to say. For sure.
Definitely got more to say.
For sure. Zak, I want to take it back to music really fast.
Yeah, let's do it.
So 2015 to about 2018 is when you released your first 4 projects.
Yes.
So you began releasing music at an extremely pivotal time in the music business. I'll get into this. So essentially, this time period is where I feel like hip hop commercially really started to, really kind of get its uptick.
Yes.
So when we talk about that time, I mean like 2015, like Fetty Wap, like, here it is 10 years later, he got a diamond song. You see what I'm saying? So like, we had, there were so many. I just mentioned him just because when I think of 2015, for whatever reason, he's always the first person. Free Fetty, by the way. But we have, so like I said, we have hip hop really taking off. People are sounding different. So many people are, I feel like, coming out having their own styles. This is the precursor to the SoundCloud era, because I feel like that really took off late 2015, 2016. Apple Music comes out, releases, and then next thing you know, the music business had the first profitable year in 16 years, because it was lacking in profit from 1999 to 2015.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, all that to say this: when you're recording music and you're recording hip hop music specifically, hip hop is, like I said, it's trending upward. It's going into, it's becoming the alpha and the omega that it is now and that it was, especially a few years ago. So with all of that, because when I listen to your music, you have so many different styles.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the melting pot and the hotbed of what hip hop was when you started recording is why you are so, I like to say, fluid as an artist?
Never even thought of it that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Zak, because real quick, just for those of you who may not have ever heard Zak's music, when I was going through his For the G's album, go stream that right now. When I was listening to his For the G's album, I hear certain 4-bar pockets where it's a Kendrick Lamar cadence flowing style. But then I hear another song where it's a full 12 verses. Yes, full 12 bars. Yes, I counted the bars. It's a full 12 bars of, Tyler, the Creator-esque kind of, repetitive, kind of like harmonizing. And then I hear another song where it's kind of like spitballing off the top of the head, just make the words rhyme type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. Like, and then another song is Drake's harmonizing. Yeah. And I'm just like, yo, this dude, I was like, I can't figure him out. You know what I mean?
Which is the best thing, which means
Yeah.
then I'm me.
You're you, exactly.
I think that's where you really find your artistry, is when you're not emulating whatever to like just one person.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, you hit it right on the head.
Yep.
Mac Miller.
I can see that.
Lil Drake.
Yep.
There's just so, like, it really has taken a lot of these, but sometimes the Eminems.
Yep.
The roots of me with the Luda, you know, just the emphatic delivery, like Luda. Like I feel like sometimes I want to bring that into there for personality. It's like when you make a dish and you got to put the right amount of seasoning on that shit.
For sure.
It's like it's the right amount, not too much, not too little. Knowing what seasonings do I need. You know what I mean? But definitely not too little, because that shit sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but my thing being is, I take from all these influences and put them all together. I don't know. Honestly, it's such a good question. Is it because of
the time
era
period.
that I grew up in?
Musically.
With it being like the golden age of all these individuals really with hip hop, I would say that mixed with who I am.
Yeah.
Because I am someone who's just so much like myself. And I would say it's just the perfect storm in a lot of ways. And then when I'm recording and I'm doing this, like really my process is in the depths of my head, I'm like, I want to say it like this artist here, and then these bars I want to flow it more like this person. And I'm always constantly having that conversation. At that point I feel like I'm channeling other artists, but saying what I need to say, and obviously it becomes me.
Zak
but
G.
like it's very interesting in that process. I'm like, so my song Done Up.
Yeah.
I feel like with the hook, I'm channeling Childish Gambino, but then with the verse, I'm like, I want to go more Chance the Rapper.
Yes.
But then it started going a little Lil Dicky, and I was like, I don't want to go too Lil Dicky because that's going to be too funny for what I'm trying to do. So let me go more Chance. And it's just interesting. And then at the end, I have this part where I'm like singing really glitzy.
Yep.
It almost feels like I'm channeling Justin Bieber on some shit. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I do my song Deep End, and I'm like, I feel like I'm giving a little Timberlake, little JT, Justin Timberlake. You know, shout out to Justin. So like, I feel like, you know, I also felt like there was a little bit of Fetty parts. You feel so deadly, babe. I do that shit in the background on the dub. I'm like, yo, I actually thought it's funny you say Fetty. I thought about Fetty while I'm doing Done Up.
While you doing that, yeah.
So like, it's crazy. Like these thought processes, I'm like, or I might accidentally do. I'm like, wait, I love that because that sounds like this artist that also is a part of me. And like, I'm always gonna lean towards the ones I told you about. But like, I love when like a little Fetty influence comes in. And I'm like, nah, that's sick. That's what excites me. I'm like, I'm bringing more in.
Yeah. And I'm sorry for such the long-winded question, but I had to think about it. I'm like, yo, like when Zach started, because like I said, when I listen to your music, I'm like, yo, I was like, I need to spend more time with this, but I'm like, yo, I can't figure this guy out. Yeah. I was like, how does he blend all of this into one cohesive project and it doesn't sound chaotic or chaotic or boring?
You know how?
Yeah, how?
Through the years of doing it.
Yep, the practice,
the repetition.
I mean,
because
been at it for a decade.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like at some point you just find a way, staying in the studio, making more music, and you're not doing that for no reason. You're doing that because you love it. You're doing that for the passion. I had a deep-seated passion and root. And that's when you know, man. Like if you don't care about this, if you're just doing it to be lit, don't even do it.
Yeah.
I always say that. Like if rap, don't just do rap because it's cool. Do rap because there's a deep-seated why, and you're just like you're moved by it, and you can't stop. I can't stop. You know, I'm so deep in it now. Of course I can't, but like, I mean, I could. I just don't want it. This is what I do. This is who I am.
No, I got you.
It's at the deepest fabrics of my identity at this point. You know what I mean? Alongside being Middle Eastern, and it's like I care so much about the art form, the culture, in ways that I feel like, you know, you look at the outside world and, you know, you got Sexy Red popping ass.
Yeah.
Which is, shout out Sexy Red. But my thing being is like, it's just more than that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with popping ass ladies, you know, but yeah, that's my.
Yeah. Getting to that. Actually,
you can have fun. Like, that's the thing. I don't want to
okay.
say you have to be super serious and it has to be intellectual. No, you need to have your fun songs too. That's kind of what I'm saying here is like a little smorgasbord of everything. Like, give the world all of you. And we all know as humans, we have our fun, we have our serious, we have all these emotions. The best artists and musicians to me are the ones that can like have the fun tracks, the serious tracks, the this track, and you know, they touch all sides of you.
For sure.
No Diddy.
That's a good one. Oh man, you wanna know what's so crazy? Gucci Mane just put out a song called No Diddy. And
oh, no way.
He's using it. You know what was hilarious? And Gucci's one of my favorites as well.
Love Gucci.
The hilarious part of the song is he's saying all the things that he's doing, and then he's saying no Diddy. And I'm like, Gooch, I think I see that. I see what you're trying to do, but I don't think you understand what no Diddy actually means.
Oh no.
Because you're using it like no cat, but you're saying no Diddy. I'm sorry, when you said that, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
He's doing it like no lie.
Oh, yeah, no. Exactly. And I'm just like,
you know, Gucci's interesting though, man.
For
like
sure.
One man who's stayed consistent and puts out the most. He's probably got the biggest discography
in hip hop
of anybody, bro.
Outside of maybe producers, because producers technically could be on a lot of different albums. We talk about like, full-fledged albums. I think Gucci is at 106 last time I counted.
It's disgusting, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and you want to know what's even more impressive about WAP is the fact that he has been incarcerated. So when he came out in 2005, he's probably been incarcerated for give or take probably 5 to 7 years at that time. Yeah. And it's just consistent music. I mean, he is a studio junkie.
You know, Waka Flocka has a pretty big discography.
Flocka's up there too.
Yeah, I did a show with him
and
in
like,
Moyne,
you know, and no disrespect, you know,
I started looking back.
He came from under Gucci's wing.
Yeah,
you know, you look at a lot of the top art. I don't even want to say the top artists, but a lot of artists that have been influenced and you know really take after him. I mean, look at all what he's had a hand in. Young Thug, he signed him to 1017 Thug, and Thug put out all them projects, and that really propelled his career. You look at Pee Wee Longway. Gucci was working with him early. Pee Wee Longway never signed or nothing like that. I don't know if he was ever signed to 1017. Maybe he was, but you know he never ever signed a deal. You look at the Migos. He signed them first too. Yeah. So you know, Gucci is. I mean, when we talk about like the staple of hard work. I mean, Pooh Shiesty. When we talk about just consistency and hard work and really just being a studio junkie, I mean, we definitely got to give Gucci a whole lot of credit. We got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, and even just real quick, just shout out to Gucci. He went from what he was doing before he went to prison, so coming out, and he was in shape, and you know, he was, to me, you know, especially from that 2016 to that 2020 period, he was a lot sharper with his pen. He has a family now. I mean, like I said, he got his label. Like, you know, Gucci aged and grew up, you know what I'm saying, out of hip hop. I mean, within hip hop the right way. So definitely shout out to WAP. Something I wanted to jump back into though, Zach, really fast is, you know, you mentioned earlier about how as an artist you be thinking like, okay, like if I make this song, what is the impact it's gonna have on kids? Because you hit it towards, you know, the Vision lyric from the Vince Young Vision lyric from Zero.
And then it's about cocaine.
Yeah, and it's about cocaine, how you were a kid. Zach, as an artist, do you feel like you have a social responsibility because you obviously are conscious as far as about what you make? For
sure. I feel like if you listen to my art, I don't really be talking crazy dirty or using a bunch of, I mean, I'm gonna say fuck sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Mom. But no, you know,
shout out Mrs. G.
Shout out Miss G.
Yeah.
Mrs. G.
Yeah. Sure.
She is married, happily married to my mom and dad have been together for too long.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
There you go. And not long enough.
Real close fam, man. Real close fam.
What were you saying?
Yeah, but my thing being, and shout out to my fam. I feel like it's a part of how I was raised, having that social responsibility. I think, you know, have your fun, you know, whatever. But there's certain lines I think I won't go past, knowing that and knowing I have a responsibility. At the end of the day, I'm here to just like make great music and have a good time, but also like help people grow and help people become more of themselves and believe in themselves. But who knows? I might make a song for the girls to ass shake too at some point in my life. I'm not counting that out completely, but the root of me is whatever. You know what I mean? I see it as that. I don't see it as like...
I feel like you would execute greatly on that, by the way.
What?
You making an ass shaking song.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you'd actually have a fire song.
Sometimes, you know what I mean? I don't want to be this hard... I'm really not this hard-nosed guy. Like, I just have the responsibility for... No, I'm fun. Like, I'm going to get out on stage and go nuts and get everybody, like, you know, going crazy, you know? So, I'm a bartender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm on the other side of my life right now. So... You know what I mean? I'm about the good vibes, the fun vibes, the ignorant. Have some ignorant songs every once in a while.
For sure.
It rounds out your discography and catalog.
I think Jay-Z got a song called Ignorant Shit.
You know what I mean?
Siegel. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just whatever.
It is what it is.
It is. You know what I mean? So it's fun. Like sometimes you're ignorant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want those moments to be captured too.
For sure.
At the end of the day, though, I do have a social responsibility, and I do take that seriously, and I, you know. That is priority to me.
For sure.
You know.
I'm glad you say that because you know
we all got the angel and devil on our shoulder, man.
For sure.
You know,
the yin to the yang.
Yeah.
I say this though, you know, the thing I always look at it when it comes to artists and social responsibility, I feel like social responsibility is up to the artist. Because, you know, like, for example, I had a pastor on here. Shout out to Pastor Willie Lightfoot. Pastor Lightfoot featured on I Got More to Say about a year ago. He actually texted me the other day. I need to call him. But Pastor Lightfoot, I asked him, you know, he's a religious man, a man of God. And I was like, hey, Pastor Lightfoot, do artists have a social responsibility? He said, absolutely. You know, he ain't hesitate. And I had this conversation with him, and it made me think. I think artists only have a social responsibility if they feel like they do. However, every artist may not have a social responsibility. If you don't feel like you have it, you don't feel like you have it. However, every artist has an impact. So regardless of, you know, because the way I look at it is like, you know, like, for example, Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel was adamant about that before he went to prison. I think this was like, I seen a 2009 interview where somebody asked him about a social responsibility. He was like, absolutely not. He was like, the music I make is for adults. He's like, I don't make songs for kids. You know, and are you familiar with Vybz Kartel?
I've heard of the name. I can't, off the top, I can't.
Jamaican dancehall artist, very sexually provocative lyrics. And I'll send you my playlist, actually. I'm a huge fan, personally.
Big Kartel fan.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Free world boss, because technically an innocent man has been sitting behind prison bars for the last 15 years, so free world boss. But that's besides the point. He was talking about, absolutely not, I don't have a social responsibility. He was like, the music I make is for adults. He was like, you know, my kids listen to my music, and I've never ever heard them going to school, you know, singing it. So he was like, I don't have one. So I kind of agree with him in that sense, but at the same time, too, any music you make is going to have an impact. So I love to hear, you know, artists talking about, like, yes, I do have a social responsibility, because even the ones who don't, the music you make has an impact. What you put, and regardless of however it gets to people's ears, it can have an impact.
Well, here's the thing. Even if you make an R-rated movie, there's still things in there that messages, even to adults. Like I don't know, like So I think there's still some kind of responsibility. I also see what you're saying too, but I don't know.
I agree. I have a social responsibility. You know, certain things, I ask my guests all the time, hey, is there anything you just don't want me to talk about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get on here, like, and talk about, you know, beef as far as in the streets, because, you know, I don't like see, especially with the hip hop, because I'm trying to stop black on black murder, especially murder in general, but black on black murder. So I don't, you know, get on and start, you know, insinuating beef and, you know, trying to instigate. Like, it's certain things I don't necessarily believe in. So, you know,
here's my answer. I think because I have the Bridge Upstate, I think I have a little more of a responsibility because I have a platform now that, and when I get into that mode, I think I have more of a responsibility. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I do make music for adults.
Yes.
Or people at least coming of age, college, you know, people at least young adults to adults.
Yeah.
So my thing being with that, I also understand that I'm not making music for an 8-year-old that's developing to try to figure out whatever.
Exactly.
If their parent, like you said, if their parents say, hey, you can't listen to this, that's on them, but this isn't, like, I'm not making it, like, trying to, like,
for kids.
Hey, kid, you want to listen to Zach? No.
Yeah.
Stay away from that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I think there's a balance.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't have kids yet, so I haven't even thought of. That's interesting. Me having to think about that. I haven't even.
Yeah.
You know,
Changes your mindset.
at the end of the day, I make music, man.
For sure. You make some good music.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. You know what I'm saying? If I do say so myself.
Appreciate it.
Zach, just so we don't get too far off, I did want to talk about another bit of advice that I wanted you to drop is your ability to network.
Yeah.
Now, you can't really teach people to network. They either have to have it in them or they don't. But you know everyone. Like,
I'm trying to.
Yeah, like.
I know Cato now, so that's all I'm
For sure. Appreciate you, my
Oswego,
guy.
baby.
Yeah, you already know how we do. But you know everyone. Like, there's people, because, you know, I went to Oswego and Syracuse, and obviously it's within the same 45-mile radius. But You're known all through the Bandier program. You're known all throughout Oswego, to some of the people who already graduated that I speak to, like they know of you. All through Syracuse. Shout out El Biz. You're down with, what I'm saying? You cool with Backpack
Biz,
Mafia.
man, Backpack, shout out.
That's my guy. Biz is a clown on that mic, man.
Yeah.
But man, definitely huge shout out to El Biz. But you know everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like
not everybody, but
not everybody.
as many people as I can.
Yeah, but as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And you are so great at establishing relationships and to continue to at establishing them, but also continuing to make them long lasting.
Yeah.
What is your key to doing that as an artist? Because as an artist, that is such a integral part of what you do. Is there any advice or wisdom or any game or any insight that you could share as far as how you're so effective?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I think I was blessed with the gift of gab.
For sure.
When I was in the 3rd grade, my teacher told me that I should be a talk show host because I won't shut up.
Okay.
So I started using that to. In junior year of high school, I got 100 on my English Regents, and I feel like I didn't even try. So that was every other class I didn't do good, but like English and like talking to people and all that just kind of came naturally to me.
Yep.
What I can say for advice, at the end of the day, you got to know your why. Always going to be my thing. Like. I feel like it has to be the sacrifice that I make, because if you want to make it in this industry, I got to know people. I got to be able to move in certain ways. So there's a little bit of that, like I need to survive. I need to survive. And then mixed with that, there's that certain gut feeling. I need to go out here. I need to meet this person. But also having the right intentions, man. Like I said, when you're in your soul, you're like, I have to do this. What do I got to do? You're either going to figure out who you need to meet, and you're going to start educating yourself because your passion's going to drive you. And if you don't have that and you want to do it and you're not the person to be extroverted, you got to find that person on your team that will be that. Find a manager, find someone that, if you're an introvert, because at the end of the day, if you're not that for yourself, it's going to be a real tough road. This network is net worth. I'm sure you've said that at some point. Like that is law.
For sure.
And look, the net worth is still growing. You know what I mean? But the network, it'll start. I just see it as that, and I see it as, like I said, having the right intentions too. Because you can have a network, and like you said, to sustain these relationships, to make them healthy and long lasting. It's like you got to be a good person at the root. You got to have good intentions. You got to not be trying to use people as stepping stones. And I want to get this, so I'm going to use this person for that, and then whatever. You burnt a bridge. The Bridge Upstate, the whole idea of is let me build bridges, not just for myself, but also for other people. How do I do that, right? I got to have good intentions, and I got to do this out of the wholeness of my heart and what I believe in and where I can bring this. I don't know if
that's a phenomenal answer. You know what I'm saying? That you blessed me with a lot of game too, and I appreciate that, Zak G. Zak, we kept on talking about this. I want to make sure that we touch on this. No Diddy. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to. I couldn't resist.
No Diddy.
You mentioned the Bridge Upstate.
Yes.
Talk to us about the Bridge Upstate, because that is how I got connected to you.
Yeah.
One of the ways that I got connected to you. But talk to us about the Bridge Upstate. What is that? What is your mission, your goal behind it, and what success have you had?
Yeah, so I was actually going down to New York City as just the artist, because they were doing cyphers down there. Russ's videographer, shout out Steve Wells, he's still doing it, One Train Cyphers. The root of me bringing it upstate around the second one. I'm on the train, I'm coming back home. I didn't actually perform as well as I wanted to, but then all of a sudden I had this realization, like, I've been going to these because I want something for upstate. I want to do it for upstate, in upstate's way, unique to upstate. So I called Steve on the phone. We had a little chat of like. I'm
sorry, who is Steve again?
Steve Wells is Russ's videographer. He was doing the New York City cyphers.
Oh, and on the trains. Okay.
So
got you.
I said, hey, this is an homage to you. I don't want to make you think like I don't want to step on your toes. I want your blessing. Are you cool with me doing something like this upstate? Like I said, we want to do this for upstate. This is not in any way to try to take or swagger jack or anything. And he gave me his blessing, and I said, all right, bet. So we had our first cypher. It started just as this, I want to do what he's doing, but up here. And so we had this cypher, over 100 people popped out, 60 artists performed, 14 cities were represented in upstate and in New York City.
And where was this at again?
Sorry?
Well, where did this take place again?
Oh, this took place in Syracuse.
This took place in Syracuse.
This was in Syracuse, and we, like I said, we had people from Buffalo, from Rochester, from Albany, Brooklyn. We had a lot of different cities all like kind of come to this, and I was like, wow, this is dope. And with my content know-how that I've been building with Zak G for years, it all came to fruition of me building the bridge from real life to digital, building the bridge of all these cities everywhere, building the bridge from producer to artist, building the bridge from, the hip hop to the world, building the bridge of upstate New York to all of America, going viral. And so after this, it's an event, but it's an event based in content. And that's ultimately, if we're going to do events, we want it to be based in content so then we can repurpose the event in the social media realm. So now it becomes a double whammy because not just a beautiful event that happens, now it's all recorded. And now you can cut that up and distribute it with all this talent that you have up here. So that was my ultimate vision, Bridge Upstate, connect all the pieces, all the people up here. Let me inspire and motivate. We didn't have anything. I being an artist myself, it was like, I'm not getting enough opportunities as Zak G. I want more shows, but I don't know how to network or past a certain realm. You say I know everybody, but there's just more pockets that I need to get in to grow further. You know what I mean? And I said, well, what if I make a platform that's not just for me? I realize there's a niche up here. There's not really a platform in upstate New York that really champions the everyday artists that are working their ass off. And so when I saw that, I was like, yo, Angel, you want to help me build this vision with this? And he's like, dude, I got you. I got your back. Let's go. Let's start. So we started having hour-long conversations, trying to figure out how do we move with this. And, all of a sudden it becomes bigger than a cypher. It becomes a little community. We start doing music reviews on our IG Live. We start doing contests of we just did Bridge the Culture Challenge where 70 submissions, 70 rappers just rapped. And then yesterday we just announced the top 16. We're going to pick a top 8 to perform on stage, Juneteenth Jamboree, June 22nd, and only in New York. So it's just evolving to, different events, all this stuff. And it's ultimately the one goal, how do we bring the most value to an artist like me that is everywhere in upstate New York? How do we just bring opportunity? And ultimately, the Bridge Upstate is the reason why I'm up here. I'm doing Art Jam because the person that I met was through the Bridge Upstate. They kind of tapped into the page through another artist that was at the cypher that we did in Syracuse. So
really,
it's really crazy how the Bridge Upstate has fed me, and I can only, it's interesting how I've seen Rochester artists go to Binghamton and things like that, and these guys connected through our page and stuff. It's just really excited to see the collaborations that are coming out of what we're building with the Bridge Upstate, and that's my long-winded answer to say that's really what this is about.
No, that's
bringing everybody together. You talk about networking and net worth. This is to bring the net worth in one hub. So if anybody comes on the live, do your business here. Start meeting people in a digital space, and then we're gonna have real events to back it up where you can meet people in person. That's the ultimate goal, man.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Nah, Zak, that's just such a beautiful thing that you do because, for those of you who don't know, I executive produced Frank's, one of my good homeboys, Frank's Beautiful Days album. Go stream that. Available on all platforms. I executive produced it as my capstone when I was at Syracuse.
And Frank's, man. Yeah, shout out Frank's.
Yeah, shout out to Frankie Knuckles. That's my dog. Frank's was, I remember when he first told me about it, he's like, yo, Cato, bro, I'm gonna go to this cypher, man. He was like, I got this verse that I want to do. He was like, I was like, cypher? I was like, well, cypher where? I didn't know what he was talking about. He was like, yo, because I was in charge of a lot of different things with the promo and some of the different things in the events. And he's like, man, I'm gonna go to the cypher. I feel like it'd be a great thing. It's hosted by this guy named Zak G. And I'm like, wait a minute, time out. I was like, where is it? I'm thinking he about to have to go to New York City or Ohio or somewhere. It's like, no, it's right in Syracuse. I was like, what? And I think I was busy with graduation, so I couldn't be there. I might have moved back to Rochester by then. But regardless, I'd seen it, and I seen all the people who had came out, and I see how peaceful it was, how organized it was. And I just was like, wow. I was like, it's somebody out here. I was like, yo, Franks, I need to lock in with Zak G. I'm like, yo, he really up here, he really up here, bringing people together. And, I really salute you for that, because that could be dangerous in upstate New York. Because I don't like to highlight the bad, but just so people are aware, upstate New York, you know, we got certain parts and certain places, I mean, that's rough. I mean, Rochester, you know, just speaking, I ain't gonna try to disrespect Syracuse or Buffalo or Albany, but you just even speaking for Rochester, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I love, you know what I'm saying, growing up here.
Well, can I counter that?
Oh, go ahead.
In New York City, they're doing ciphers, and New York City's pretty rough as well.
That's
in
fair.
a different way.
Yes, for sure.
And so I think that was kind of my thing, is like, man, why is everybody so afraid to do something here in upstate, especially if the intentions are good? And as the MC, as the host of it, when I get in there, I set the tone. I say, nah, man, like if there's, you know, this is where we're going to come together. Like leave your ops at home, leave your problems at home. Come here with the right intention. And if you do, you're going to flourish, we're going to flourish. That's why you're here.
For sure.
If you're going to have any problems here, the door's right there. The moment we see anything, whatever, I'm constantly on surveillance. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
I think it's just like catching things before they happen. A lot of the times it's like, you know, you can feel energy, man. And I think we're building a bubble and a community of people that understand a certain. It's a movement, man. It's a certain a way of being and thinking. That's what I'm trying to instill in upstate. Because me going down to New York City doing that, it's like these guys get it, so we need to get it. And if we do, you could argue that upstate could be even more powerful if we can brand it in the right way. And that's ultimately my goal is, man, to give upstate a voice in a place where there's just not really culture. Like you said, cypher up here.
Yeah.
What? Like you're going down to New York City, you're going to another state. Oh yeah, where are you headed? No, like let's do things hip hop culture up here. There's no reason that we can't. There's a lot of art. I know a lot of artists up here, and they're all like not active enough. And it's not really out of them not wanting to be. It's just out of like these venues won't have hip hop, or you know what I mean? It being a little like the racism that it's dealt with, it being a more rough and tough genre. So I'm just trying to bring. There's good people in hip hop that deserve
to be heard,
opportunities to be heard, all those things. So. That's it, man. It's that I'm sitting around, I'm looking for opportunities, and I'm thinking, why me? Nah, screw that, man. I'm going to make the opportunity.
Nah, I definitely respect it. I think one of the key things that I look at it as well is like, man, like, I just love too how, you know, you work with people our age, you work with people younger than you, and then as I said before, even the Backpack Mafia, you know, a little bit more of a mature audience. Like, it's the perfect name, the Bridge Upstate, and you definitely are that bridge.
Thank you.
And you know, we salute you, because I don't think people realized how musical upstate New York is.
Yes, sir.
I mean, even if we take a second to even get off of hip hop for a second, Rochester has one of the biggest jazz festivals in the world.
There you go.
People come all over the world to come to our jazz festival. Syracuse has some of the best concerts. I mean, Elton John was there last year when I was there. I think he was there before the year started. You know, Buffalo has Griselda. You know what I mean? You know, well, that's hip hop, but you know, there's also like a death metal band from Buffalo. I forgot their name. I'm sorry, but I usually do. I forgot, but I know they have these crazy art covers. I mean, these crazy album covers. I forgot the name of the band. Forgive me. But I remember, like, you know, there's a lot of things going on here.
I'm gonna say this though. I think there's a lot of things going on anywhere you look. It's just a matter of how you look at it and what you do with it.
For sure.
And so I think. There's just a lot of people up here. There's got to be talented people, and I mean, Buffalo being the biggest city in upstate, Syracuse, Rochester, you got all these like places that have people. There's got to be talent, but I know for a fact there's not enough opportunities up here. Or
for sure.
I've been studying. I've been like whatever. Like okay, bet. There's nothing like this. There's no one who understands content in this way up here. Well, let's work. We're in 2024. Let's work like we're in 2024. Like, you know what I mean? I think a lot of these, there's this old age model of like, a lot of the artist opportunities are these pay to play situations. They're on the backs of the artists. You know, $50 to $100 to slot, or you only get 20% of your ticket sales, and you're not really making any money. Why don't I throw a free event, or you know, at least low cost to an artist? And give them the most value. Not only are you going to have this event, you're going to network with people.
So I just want to push it up. Mm-hmm.
You're going to have this event. You're going to network with people. You're also going to get content out of it, you know, and that's content is king. Now you're going to be able to be on a platform after you're at this event that actually has a healthy online following too. You're just getting the double whammy. And I think the thing that has the double whammy in 2024 is doing both things.
For sure.
Not just digital, not just in real life, the traditional, not taking the traditional with the new age, slap them together. It's the winning formula in my opinion. That's $1 million game right there.
For sure. Nah, I got you.
Yo, take that.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Take that like Diddy.
No, did it. Take that.
Jumping back into it, Zach, well, definitely, I have to definitely give you a lot of credit because one thing that I've always prided myself on is bringing people together. I ain't never been the type of person to hide resources from nobody. You know, and I always feel like, you know, we stronger as one than we are as many. I mean, excuse me, we're stronger. Yeah, we stronger as one than we are as many. Yes, I said that right. And seeing the Bridge Upstate and what you're doing, bringing everybody together and how things remain peaceful, I think it's just a testament of the energy that you provide, the energy that you bring, and who you are. And, you know, I salute you for everything that you're doing within Upstate because, you know, I've grown to love Upstate. You know,
me too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've really grown to love, like I said, I mean, I've lived in 3 out of the 4 major upstate cities, being Buffalo, Syracuse, and Rochester.
We're stronger as many. And my thing being is like, when you go, the other thing is when you go to a place like New York City, you're a small fish in a big pond.
Yes.
When you're in upstate New York, there's a lot more opportunity for you to be a big fish.
For sure.
There's still a lot of uncharted territory. As much as work as I'm doing, I'm not foolish to the point of like, if there's just clearly other opportunities for other pages to be built the way I'm building it.
Yeah.
Like I implore anybody to also build those pages. Like it doesn't just have to be me either. I don't ever see it as that because at the end of the day, there's opportunity now for that page and me to collaborate. You know, it's not healthy competition is beautiful because it drives you guys to keep doing more. But I mean in a healthy way. I think there's some people don't get it, and when it's not healthy, that's why that page remains stagnant on something. That's why we've been so successful. It's like, all right, let's work, let's collaborate. You got something, I got something, but have something. Please just have something to bring to the table. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I think the thing too that I really respect and love about the Bridge Upstate and what you're doing is that Upstate now has a sound.
Yeah.
Shout out to Griselda.
Yes.
Shout out to Trust Movement, Trust Gang here in Rochester. Shout out to everybody that's doing music upstate, first off. But Upstate has a sound now. The gritty, grimy Griselda town.
You know what's crazy though?
Holla at me.
It's a little bit here and there because in Syracuse they got Polo G signed this guy Scory from Syracuse. I'm
familiar. He pulled up the Syracuse to the P's in the white Rolls Royce.
So you'd be surprised. Yep,
Scory,
you're right. So my thing being, I think a lot of people took influence from that in the town, and there is a lot of influence of that kind of sound as well. So it is interesting. Like I feel like the Griselda vibe in Syracuse is actually it's a tougher market for the Griselda type vibe. I think with the Bridge Upstate, I think we are going more towards that Griselda type vibe, but I think it's interesting to Bridge, and I've been having these conversations too, like we want to bring a little more like of that new age trap sounding vibe to it. It's just a matter of how do we do it. Because I don't want to be just the old school page. I want to be the page that really does bring everybody together. And,
what you are doing.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been recently, this has been a recent conversation, is just like, how do we take this Griselda vibe that we already kind of are matching that type of energy, and we're bringing that to Cuse and bringing that all around. How do we also take that new age trap sounding thing, not too much, but we don't want to be too much of this either. We want to find that nice middle ground to kind of give a reason for both sides to come out together on something. So that's going to be my next. I'm still figuring that out in the process.
Well, let me know any way I could be of assistance if I can come bring any of my skills to be able to make that dream. To be able to make that goal and that vision come to fruition.
Appreciate that,
for
man.
sure. But but one thing I did want to hit on real quick is like Upstate is becoming known for the Griselda sound, and the thing I love so much about what the Bridge Upstate is doing is the fact that a lot of the artists that I've seen that have participated, such as, Franks and other artists, they don't necessarily have like that gritty sound. So I think what you're doing is even that much greater. Because it's like, okay, people think upstate hip hop, they thinking of the Bennies, the Cons, the Wesses, you know what I'm saying, the Stove Gods.
Stove Gods, yep.
And people,
Stove is right in that, and he's from Q. So
yeah,
there you
he's
go.
from Q, and people such as that nature. But you know, I like the fact that you're highlighting the non-stereotypical upstate sounding MCs, if that makes sense. And no disrespect to Griselda, I don't say that in a bad way, but when people, that's the upstate sound. You know what I'm saying? The Griselda sound, I pretty much make that synonymous with the upstate sound. And shout out to Stove God Cooks, actually. Yeah. Because I say this, Syracuse, as you said, Scory, you mentioned him, but even with Stove God, I mean, my favorite MC from upstate, and I'm obviously very biased, is 38 Special. By far. And I don't say that to be disrespectful to West, Con, or none of them. I think the two best are Con and Spesh, but Spesh is my favorite. And you know, like I said, I mean, I've been in Rochester for 10 years, so Spesh is, you know, I'm biased. Rightfully so.
I like West Side.
You like West Side?
Yeah.
I think West Side is the best artist.
Yeah,
I think he makes the best albums.
The personality, and, you know, again, me talking about who I am, but
I think he makes the best albums. You know what I'm saying? I think Con and Spesh are the best rappers. I think West makes the best, I think he makes the best albums. Yeah. But can I tell you, to me, who has the most impeccable style? Stove. Yeah, like Stove is, to me, probably on the musical tip, because I mean, West does fashion and wrestling and God knows what else, but on a little bit more of like the musical, like on the musical tip, to me, Stove God is, his mind works differly. Yeah. Like when he you're
right, he's definitely unique.
Yeah, like nobody sounds like him. And on what's the name of the song? One Foot In, One Foot Out, off of Benny's album, his last album, off of Everybody Can't Go. He says, I hear these niggas sounding real stovish, you know? And I don't necessarily know anybody who sounds like him, but obviously he knows his style better than mine. But even looking at him from being in Syracuse, I'd just be like, wow, like this guy's truly unique, but it's like he's not being pushed the way he should. Or maybe I don't know. I don't want to say that. I don't want to get into the business aspect.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say this right now. You know what we need to do?
What's up?
We need to do Benny v. Stove God, and it needs to be somewhere in between Syracuse and Buffalo. We need to hold that. I'm putting out energy out in the world.
For sure.
Listen, as the Bridge Upstate, we can utilize our resources to help promote. That'd be, you know what I mean? Like have those little like almost city rivalry type vibes.
For
you
sure,
know? Like that'd be
kind
of
respectful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Respectful.
Yeah, I'm with you. But
like that might like I don't know. I try to think like little creatives, like you know, like the Drake versus Lil Wayne tour, like back in the day.
That would be dope.
I don't know, man. Like it might be kind of cool. I don't know.
And I didn't mean to get on this tangent about Stove. Yeah. Nah, I didn't mean to get on this tangent about Stove, but I guess where I was going with that is just like, you know, one of the, to me, the most impeccable MCs in all of New York, including New York City, is Stove. You know, and it's just like, damn, like, it's like he's being overlooked. Like even the same thing how you mentioned like Scory and his sound, you know, people took from as well. Like, as I said before, I'm not from Syracuse, but I went to school there, and you know, Syracuse always is gonna be in my heart. It's like, damn, like I would like to see, and I'm sure there are other talented MCs, you know what I'm saying, yourself included, you know, that definitely deserve a lot more credit. But I just had to mention Stove because I mean that Reasonable Drought.
I still need to delve in. To be
Reasonable
honest.
Drought?
Yeah.
Oh man, Rolls Royce Brake Lights is the intro song off of there, my favorite. Yes, left 6 pure, but our OJ cut 30. Oof. That hit me. Light skin base runner, I'm Derek Jeter.
Dude, that face right there, you know he felt it with that face, man.
I was like, Lord.
He was like, that's it?
Yes, he said ESPN prices, I do 30 for 30. I was like, Lord. I was like, whoa. So, yeah, but anyways, Zak G, I want to get into your lyrics.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I took time because I think, like I said, somebody else is coming up after us, but I took time to actually go and listen to your album. And there was a couple things I wanted to ask you about. On Attention, you say you are the mayor of the rap game. Break that down. Because, you know, everybody calls themselves, you know, the president and the king and this, that, and the third. Yeah. You and maybe Fujiano are the only artists I've ever heard call themselves the mayor. You know what I'm saying? You say you're the mayor of the rap game, and I feel like you definitely have earned that. Go into that. What does it mean to be the mayor of the rap game?
You know, you go around, you're like, ha ha ha, you know, you shake hands,
kiss
you know,
babies.
you're like, hey, kiss babies. Don't shake babies, that might be a little rude. Don't shake anybody's baby. Nah, man, I don't know. That was me talking my shit, basically saying like, hey man, I'm out here, I'm networking. Going back to the whole networking thing. I'm meeting people and I'm I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart, but I also don't want to. Now that I'm saying it, I don't want to be a politician. But it really was just like that whole thing. I don't respect politics.
Okay.
In a lot of ways. But I do feel like I'm the mayor of this rap shit.
For sure.
I make rap shit. I don't slack. That's that guy over there. And I think that next line really explains why I was talking that shit, because I'm just like, I don't slack. I work my ass off. Like, y'all aren't working as hard as me. So, like, I can proclaim myself the mayor mixed with me doing the networking that I'm doing. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah.
Next up on Get My Photo, you say y'all are some dreams while I am the vision.
Yeah, I actually said y'all have some dreams.
Y'all have, my apologies.
Yeah, I have the vision. So people, I love that you picked out that one. That's like one of my favorite lines ever.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
Because, Meek Mill, I give a lot of credit. Dream chasers, dreams, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. Everybody's talking about dreams. The Game had the song Dreams back in 2005 off of the documentary.
Yeah, everybody talks about dreams.
Everybody talks about dreams.
I'm trying to take the conversation forward.
Exactly. Talk to us about that.
So basically what I'm saying there, yeah, I have dreams too. But how do you put that into action? You know what I mean? I think having a vision, having the vision, like anybody can be like, oh, I dream myself of being, this sports player, of being Eddie George, running the rock to the touchdown. Cool, you have that dream. I have the vision. And when you have a vision, that's the thing that guides you to do it. And, it's that manifestation. I take it from like kind of the Nipsey Hussle mindset of like, if you can see it up here, like it can happen. And like just believing that it can happen, the law of attraction type of thing, that's the vision, the manifestation of the implementation of that dream. I'm implementing it into my life. It's no longer just this, I go to sleep and I see it. How do I, and then Lucid Dreamz, the awakening theory, like this is my whole entire, that bar is me referencing all those kind of like, that was me building my vision from being sound asleep to then being the awakening theory, with my mixtape come up. So, that's like one of the most important like self-actualization moments in all my songs. So that was like, wait, that's why I'm successful.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nah, dope. I like that answer.
Thank you.
Lastly, Zach, on I Got It, you say, and you broke this down earlier, but you said since 2015, been up all night, no sleep. And this past going on a decade, what is just, what are like the greatest lessons you've learned?
Greatest lessons I've learned is
what has this journey been like?
Be a good person, man. Don't be a dick. Like, it's funny because it stuck with me. My boy he's playing professional rugby. By the way, shout out Oswego Rugby. I played rugby at Oswego. Oh, okay. By the way, played football in high school, needed something rough to play, so I played rugby in college. Shout out to you. And my best friend from that was like so good. He starts playing professional rugby, and he called me up. He's like, yeah, you know how it happened? There was a guy that I played club rugby with, and he told the coach, hey, this guy's good at rugby, and he's like a great dude, will fit in the culture, whatever. I love him. He's one of my favorite guys. Like, okay, bring him in. He's like, it pays to be a good person. Like, he was like, and that's really what he is. He's a good dude. Everybody loves being around him. Good energy. You know what I mean? Friendly. Not like a cold shoulder person. I just think being a good person, if there's one thing I leave you with, it's like, be a good person, work on yourself, and have good intentions for yourself, and I think for others it'll fall into place. You got to put yourself first, of course. For sure. But like, if you truly put yourself first, not in a like selfish manner, it becomes kind of selfless in a way, because, okay, now I'm able to fill your cup. Got to fill my cup first, but then now I actually can. You can't pour from an empty cup. So that's it, man. Be a good dude. Work hard. I don't know. Super dope. And lastly, Zak G, you talk about having the vision, and you talked about having the vision, and you talked about, being like an inspiration. Who do you go to when you need inspiration? Who inspires Zak G? Because Zak G is just so much of himself. I kind of think it's like a cyclical thing. I do think I'm just like, I think sometimes it's less about finding inspiration, because it's intrinsic. I have the motivation and inspiration. This is actually the deepest shit I could ever say. I have that. I think it's more so pumping the brakes, taking time off, is more of the key than it is, where do I have to find inspiration? I think because I'm so passionate at the root of who I am, I need to find time to turn that passion off, relax, get a glass of water and sit on my deck and look out at whatever. You know what I mean? Like, get out of the studio is really the goal for me sometimes, because it's so naturally, like, can be a little workaholic in ways. And I think there's a balance with life. You can't just be constantly working. You gotta have a life outside of the studio. Please do that. Like, me saying grind is also me saying be there for yourself, take time, be there for your family. So I want to kind of counter the inspiration thing and just be like, yeah, man, I'm inspired. I'm good. I'll listen to a song, I'll listen to an album. I guess if I am looking for inspiration, I think it just happens naturally, in a sense of like throwing on that Kendrick thing that he just dropped today on Instagram. I don't know if you heard it, the new diss track.
Super dope.
So dope. Automatically, I'm like, let's freaking go. We're headed to Rochester. You know what I mean? But even this, man, being on this shit, it's just huge.
Thank you,
just
man.
huge. Got more to say, man.
For sure. Zak G, now before we wrap up, Zak, you know I am Cato, I am serious. I do take my interviewing chops very, 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 very seriously. But I like to have fun, Zak G.
Let's go, man.
I like to have a whole lot of fun,
shoot, he's
Zak
got
G.
images?
I like to have a whole lot of fun.
Okay.
And the way we have fun here on I Got More to Say is we play a game called Put On or Put Out. And this game is where we rate hip-hop fashion. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be showing Zak G some different outfits
seen this.
from some different rappers.
Here we go.
Yes, we got about not nothing too crazy. You know, we got about like a modest 9 photos. I'm gonna be showing our guest Zak G some photos from some fits from some rappers. Zak G, if he feels that the artist executed the fit, he's gonna say put on. If he feels that the artist did not execute the fit, he's gonna say put out, but he has to tell us why. Zak G, are you ready?
Put out, no Diddy.
Zak G, we starting off with the person you said is the best lyricist of all time. How we feel about 3 Stacks? Is that put on or put out? You can hold it.
Let me see this, man.
The 3 Stacks
It's
put on?
definitely got this classic feel about it. I'm gonna put it, like, is there like a middle ground you could put on it?
Put on or put out, my G.
I'm honestly, 3 Stacks of all the wardrobes you had, I'm gonna say put out.
Really?
I'm not.
3 Stacks not clean in that?
I just feel like this color could be matching with that a little bit more.
Okay.
You know, the pocket square with the shirt. I feel like this is a different shade of blue from, I don't know, man. I think it's too busy for me.
Man.
I know, I'm being very technical here. Like, I wouldn't wear this.
Okay.
And I'm more so thinking, like, could I see myself? I've seen him do it better.
So
I usually love 3 Stacks.
Yeah,
I'm being hard on my boy right now.
Fashion icon for sure.
A fashion icon,
Yeah.
and I'm being really hard on him right now. I'm gonna be picky as hell.
Okay.
Ron, I got more to say.
For sure.
I had to go with him. Like, he's done better. I'm putting out on 3 Stacks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
man. All right, man. We'll just set that face down.
Okay.
3 Stacks, you know we still love you, player.
I love you, 3 Stacks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Next up, New York City. How we feel about Lloyd Banks and Young Buck? G-Unit.
Oh, man. Put on, man.
Put on?
I love the baggy. I
Okay.
love the baggy. I love the 2000s, the Y2K feel. Love the Air Forces. Not as much of a Tim's fan.
But the Black Forces, you rockin' with?
I'm usually a White Forces guy.
Okay.
So I think if there's anything that they could level up on, it's the shoes. So yeah, like White Forces would be super dope.
With the all black fit?
With the all black fit,
The White Forces?
I wouldn't mind it, honestly.
Wow, okay, Zak G.
I love I just love the shoes shining, man. There's something about white shoes that always fit the aesthetic. I don't know, man. Can't go wrong. But I just love the classic hip. Like, this just hits a certain part of my brain, like cerebral of like.
That's our era.
Yeah, that's us, man.
For
Like
sure.
that's that hard New York City shit.
So
you know?
that's put on.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, bet. Next up, Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 and the 2000s.
Oh,
How
my
we feel
God.
How we feel about the Hot Boys?
All right, so this is.
And slash Big Timers, because I think Birdman is in that photo.
So this was the SAG era. I don't. I mean, I guess they're sagging a little bit. I'm gonna say, I don't know. Is this being a hypocrite saying put
Put out.
Put out.
You putting that out?
I might put this out.
Oh, Zak G, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one, player. The all-white shirts with the Jabot jeans and the soldieries.
Put on. It's just like the only thing is I'm like, I know Wayne was like, I think why I'm saying put out is because it looks like his pants are like to here. The sag era isn't like my favorite on some shit.
Okay.
And like maybe a little sag.
Okay.
But there was a certain point where they were like literally like almost at their kneecaps on some shit.
Okay.
But I do love, like I told you before, I love the white shoes. I love the baggy, you know.
The tall white tees,
yeah.
man, that was, like I said, they fashion icons for that. That was a look. That's put on?
I think I'm going to switch to put on.
Put on for
like I said.
Put on for Cash Money Records?
Yeah.
I bet. Next up, Texas. We spoke about this earlier. How we feel about one of the nicest MCs in the world right now, in my opinion. How we feel about Sauce Walka?
Sauce Walker?
Sauce Walka.
Sauce Walka.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually heard of him.
You need to listen. Him really on any beat, but him on a Derringer beat, he'd be walking. You need to listen to I'm Him.
Okay, word. I'm gonna say this. Put out. This
This
is not my style. I mean, it's just not my style. It's not. Are we asking something I would wear?
No, we just asking overall in general. When you say put out, okay, continue.
It's okay, but I'm gonna say put out because I'm not like I told you I'm gonna be hard on people. I think this is a put out. I think it's like. I like the skinny. I'm not a big fan of the skinny.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think I don't know. I just don't love anything about this for real. Like something I'd wear is like. I think I'd wear that coat maybe with something like a little more simple under it. I don't know, man. Yeah, put out.
Put out for Sauce Walka, man. Sauce Walka, we still, it's all good. We still rock with him, man. For sure.
I don't know you, so I don't know if I rock with you, but.
Hard. Definitely need to take a listen.
Okay.
Yeah. He got some balls for sure. Next up, how we feel about Ohio's very own, Shaker Heights' very own Kid Cudi.
Ooh, put on.
Put on for Kid Cudi.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, man, okay. You was enthusiastic about that one.
See, now, but this is like the going back to the 3 stacks, like this is something like it's regal, it's different, it's, I love the boots with like the open pants. These guys got the roses inside it. It's just eccentric, but it's like also kind of dapper at the same time.
For sure, you know,
the
that shade of blue is my favorite color.
Yeah, that shade of blue is fucking amazing. So immediately I'm like, yo, if I'm at a red carpet, not for every day, but if I'm at a red carpet situation like this in a couple years, I mean, I might consider that kind of look.
Okay. Yeah. So we going to put on for Kid Cudi.
Put on.
Bad. All right, next up, one of my favorite cities in hip hop this man hails from. Free this young man. How do we feel about Pooh Shiesty?
Pooh Shiesty.
The big brrr.
Oh, I just hate skinnies, man. Put
out for Pooh?
I just don't like the skinnies. Like, I feel like his ankles are so small, bro. Like, yo, like, you got to do some calves if you're going to be wearing those.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Pooh. I know you're a GOAT, you're a legend.
For sure.
It's just not me, man. I like the top. The top with the chains. I can't get over the pants, man. The pants are so skinny. And I can't, man. I can't. Everything else is cool. It's just like, once I see the pants got some weird, he's got like chicken legs, bro. Like, I don't know. Sorry, Pooh, sorry.
Better be careful if you ever go to Memphis.
Just kidding. You got some tanks.
Man, free Pooh Shiesty.
Free Pooh Shiesty, man.
Next up, Upstate. You know we got to show Upstate some love.
Yep.
Fly Guy, West Side Gun. Is that put on or is that put out?
Put on, baby.
Put on for West Side.
I love the different type shit, bro. Like, what are those? You know what I'm saying? This is eccentric as fuck. The red with the red. The all black on top of that. I mean, the jacket's fire. I love the leather pants with it because it's like, it might be too much leather, but like I'm still gonna say put on. I mean, like it immediately caught my eye and was interesting.
You know what I love about this fit? He got the LA hat on, and it looked like he in LA, and he in somewhere in LA that looked like rich people stay because he's overlooking the city. If I take it with the palm trees, I got to give West
and
credit.
A lot of thought went into this. Like even the little band, the red here, like
on the Richard Mille.
Come on, man.
For sure. So that's put on for West.
Yeah, that's put on.
Man, Fly Guy, man.
That's put on.
Right, Fly Guy, thank you for representing us Upstate people the correct way. We appreciate you, Fly Guy. All right, next up, Philly. Yeah, but not what you expecting.
Not Meek Millie.
How we feel about Will Smith?
Will Smith.
How is that put on or is that put out?
I think that's put out, man.
Oh damn.
I just don't love the busy with the busy.
You're not rocking with the mismatched color Jordan?
I don't know, and I don't love the mismatched color Jordan. I don't mind any of these pieces, but I think all together they don't work.
Okay.
But I like that shirt if it's with a different pant. I like the shoes if it was a different shirt. I just don't like it all together.
Damn.
Maybe if you're like chilling in your house and no one sees you. Put out.
Put out.
Come on, man.
Next up, New York City. What to me, probably the greatest group of all time, but that's a topic for another day. How we feel about Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang. Oh my gosh, put on,
Put
bro.
on for Wu-Tang?
Oh, the Tommy, the vest, the shining bright, all these fits, man. These are classic 2000s vibes.
And you know the thing I love about it? It's theirs, because as you can see, RZA will wear on the jacket. I love it.
Yeah, man.
One thing to be fly, but it's one thing to be fly with something you own.
And this is just 90s as hell. Anything 90s, like its colors are popping, you know what I mean? And just fire, man.
So like put on for Wu.
This is hip hop, man. Like this is.
Can I tell you my favorite thing about this photo though?
What's about it?
If you take a real close look at the man in red, also known as Ason Unique, aka ODB, aka Old Dirty Bastard. If you take a look real closely at his glasses, they're missing a lens.
They are missing a lens. He almost gives me Slick Rick vibes in this.
For sure. But I think that's my favorite part.
That's your favorite part about it.
This photo, man.
I love
that's just
that.
ODB. And rest in peace to the legend.
Yeah, man.
But that's put on for Wu?
That's 100%.
For sure.
Not even, I'm picking very quickly, just like, whatever I feel, I'm going with, man.
And lastly, the greatest hype man in hip hop history. One of the 4 founders of hip hop reality TV, hip hop dating. How do we feel about William Drayton, also known as Flavor Flav?
I mean, put on
for Flavor Flav.
Put on the all red, man, the gloves, the clock. I mean, bro, it's this most iconic, one of the most iconic looks in hip hop is this guy, man, with the big clock. Yeah, man. And he's got no laces on this, man.
He looked like he about to go baptize somebody with the white ass gloves.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just know if he's trying to cross me, if I do any kind of like cross move on him in ball, he's falling on his ass. But other than that, man, that shit's fire.
So that's put on for Flav.
That's put on. That's put on. But I'm gonna cut you up on the court.
Okay, all right.
Wow, that shit's fun. I like that. I think that's fun. Honestly, that's kind of a look though. Like, as much as I'm making fun of him for having no laces like that,
it's a little bit of a look.
It kind of has a I don't even know, man.
It has a style to it.
It has a style to it, for real.
I think the thing I love about this photo the most is that the clock got like a red rope, like necklace piece to it. Yeah, I was like, yeah, Flavor Flav is truly unique for that.
Yeah, I love that.
Sure.
I love that, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. I love that. That's the best thing.
No problem at all. Well, Zak G, man, we've reached time, man. Thank you so much for taking the trip all the way out here. You know what I'm saying, before the show to come out here and come kick it with your boy.
King Cato, baby.
You already know. And as I said before, definitely huge shout out to you just for all that you do for everybody upstate, man. From, the music to the inspiration to the collaboration. I mean, you really are doing a phenomenal job at bridging the gap.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And your story is very much inspiring. I hope that what y'all could take from Zak G is that, have a plan. Have a plan, but as Zak said, it ain't even necessarily about having a plan. It's about having the ability to get up and go after it. You figure things out as you go. And I think that's the thing, Zak, that I really mostly really respect about your story.
And know yourself. Know who you are, man.
For sure. Yeah, because you are you.
Thank you.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
As you are you, man.
For sure. I accept it. You know what I'm saying? I'm bald-headed at 24.
Hey.
It is what it is.
It's great. You got a great shine, man.
Thank you, my G. I work hard for this now. You know what I'm saying? We have to cut this about every other day. This bald head is a process. But Zak G, anything that you want to tell the folks, anything that you got coming up, anything that you would like to promote, Zak, man, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. For the G's out now, coming to a city near you if you're in upstate New York. We're doing shows at Zak G, the Bridge Upstate. We're building a movement. Follow me on all social media platforms. I am Zak G. That's IAMZAKG. There's no ZAC. It's 3 letters. ZAKG. Follow me everywhere. And then the Bridge Upstate, at the Bridge Upstate on all social media as well. Instagram's my #1 platform if you want to get a hold of me, whatever. chop it up, listen to some music. Let me know what you think for the G's out now. Like I said, man, thank you for having me.
For sure. I got you, Zach, and I appreciate you for coming on. And also, go stream the album. What are you doing?
Wasting my time?
Go get for all the G's.
Oh, you got more to say?
Yeah.
Huh? Nah, shut up. You're not on I Got More to Say, so you got to listen to the album.
Yeah, for sure. So make
Maybe
sure.
when you work harder, you'll be up here.
Hey, you right about that one. I'm glad Zach said something. Some people put out one song and want to come holler at me. Nah. This takes work, respectfully.
Where's your discography?
Facts.
Damn it.
But bet, well, this is Zak G, and I'm Cato the Third, and as always, I got more to say.